Hi guys, this is Mike and this will be a quick technical shootout between 3 different ND filters. I chose the ND 64 strength because it is the most usable for what I need, and I wanted a solid filter, not a variable one, because in my opinion variable ones degrade the image quality too much. At least the cheap ones do. The more expensive ones not so much, but I didn't want to spend $200 or $300 on a filter. So anyways, here are the tested ND filters. All of them are solid, all of them offer an 64 times filter factor, which provides a 6-stop exposure reduction. For example, if I want to film in bright daylight on 4.5 aperture and 50 shutter speed, then this is what I get even on ISO as low as 80, a totally overexposed image. Now let's look at the 6-stop exposure reduction by the ND filters, starting with the Gobe. Here is the Hoya, and here is the B and W. Let's look at them side by side. And the first thing you might notice is that the Hoya shifts the color a tiny little bit to red or pink, which you can see especially in the rays of the sun and this middle area here. The Gobe and the B and W almost look identical, with the B and W being a little bit darker. Let's investigate this in a more scientific manner. This is a test chart, but we'll focus only on the top left quarter. Let's see what these ND filters really do to color. Okay, the Gobe seems to add a tiny little bit of blue to your image, which you can see especially on the color squares here. The Hoya does indeed add a little bit of red or pink, but it's so subtle it's almost negligible. The B&W has the most accurate color reproduction. At least I cannot see any differences to the shot without any filter. Now let's take a look at another important topic, reflections. This is a test without any filter. This is the Gobe, the Hoya, and the B&W. Let's look at them side by side. And here you can see that the Gobe is the only one that introduces flares to the image. Flares, in my opinion, can look cool when they are perfectly horizontal, for example, but in this case they go from the top left to the bottom right, and I don't really like that. The other two don't introduce any reflections or flares and would be totally usable for night shots. Okay, so let's recap. The cheapest filter, the Gobe, introduces flares and shifts your colors a little bit to the blue side. The Hoya works great for night shots, but adds a tiny little bit of red to your image, while the B&W has the most accurate representation of both your colors and your lights. So this is a typical case of you get what you pay for. If money is no issue, totally go for the B&W. But if you don't want to spend that much, for 2/3 of the price you get the Hoya that works just as good, and which is the filter that I personally am going to keep. Okay, so I hope I could help you with your decision. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.